they'll like me.
That's
There's
right.
a chance.
Well, let's talk about, and I don't know if we've ever talked in depth about this, about Taboo Tuesday, the first cyber pay-per-view, kind of the precursor to what they're doing now, where you text, but the fans, you would call in or text or email your vote on what you wanted the match to be.
Right.
Now, all the matches on the show were, let's say Kane versus Undertaker in a cage match, street fight, or no DQ.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the match is. It's whatever.
Right.
All of them except for one. And it was Chris Jericho as the Intercontinental Champion against one of a possible 20 contenders.
Yes.
And I just saw Kevin Dunn a week ago, and I told him, I was like, I hated you that day because there's 20. I'll tell my side, and you tell your side. There's 20 contestants, and the fans vote in. And I said to Kevin, can you tell me, 2 or 3 hours before, can you tell me who the top 5 are? He's like, no. I'm like, come on. Can you tell me who the top 10 are? He's like, no. So this is real. And anyone at home is like, oh, come on. This was real. So I had to go and get everyone. Remember, I had to get everyone in a room.
Yeah.
And I walked to every guy and said, what's your finish and what move do you like to do? And this is like Rosie, Chuck Palumbo, Stevie Richards, Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember when you came to me and you're like, Shelton, if I did this, do you know how to? And I remember saying, Chris, don't worry, I know all your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank you.
Thank you. Because I remember, okay, I don't have to worry about you, Shelton. I said, Jay, Christian, you come up with everything. And Batista, I talked to Batista a bit because I thought for sure it would either be maybe you, but I thought it would be Batista, Christian, or Coachman. Because I thought people would vote him in as a joke.
Right.
Right? And I remember saying to Vince, I said, I think it might be Coachman. He goes, well, if it is, you're going to have to match them. I said, well, yeah, it's going to be a 10-second match. I'll just take your Taboo Tuesday and shove it up your ass. So they gave me no warning, no sign. And once again, this is my side of it. I go to the ring, and then I'm waiting there, and then they finally show Shelton Benjamin, and out you come. So how was it on your guys' end? Were you guys in a room, or how did it work? Do you remember?
Well, for the most part, that whole day, I honestly, and despite at this time, this is when I was getting a lot of, a big push,
Yeah.
And so
you were the new kid on the block,
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't feel like I was a fan favorite in any way, even though
because you weren't. Like I said, I wasn't demeaning you, but I said it's going to be Christian or Batista, maybe Shelton, but I don't think. Because there hadn't been any big Shelton Benjamin chants or anything. It wasn't like a Daniel Bryan thing where they're waiting to see you go. Right. You were just the guy that you did good matches. People would cheer and then go to the next guy. Right.
And I remember when they had us all line up, I wasn't paying attention because in my head I'm like, it's going to be Batista.
Oh, that's what you were thinking it was?
I'm thinking So
they had you line up to tell you or to film your guys' faces?
To film our reaction.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there just basically twiddling my thumbs, not thinking about a match or anything because I am sure, Batista, I think he was in the Evolution doing the
he was.
So in my head, I'm going, well, it's probably going to be Dave. Not thinking about it. So when they announced my name, if you go back and watch the tape, there's a delayed reaction. Because it was one of those,
huh?
Yeah. But I was like, oh shit!
It's like that Eddie Murphy thing where it's like, let's vote for Jesse Jackson. He fucking won. Yeah, that's what it's like. What? I won? What?
So, I go to the ring and again, like you said, we really didn't plan a match. But luckily for me, I'd been working with Eddie and Chavo a lot.
Right.
And Eddie and Chavo, while working with me and Charlie, a lot of times, most of the time, when we first started working, they would hide from us. They didn't want to go over a match. They just wanted to go out there and call it.
Eddie loved to call it in the ring.
And for the first couple months, for me and Charlie, that we were screwing up all of his spots and everything, and there was a big blow up, and then we finally said, "Look, you got to at least tell us the spots because we're new. We just don't know them."
Right.
And so he explained the spots to us, and then for the next 8 months, we never called the matches. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to listen to Chris.
Well, and the funny thing is when you got called in, or your name got called, because we didn't know a finish or anything.
Yeah.
And Kyoto tells me, okay, as you're coming to the ring, Kyoto tells me Shelton's going over. I'm like, okay, Shelton's going over with his finish. I'm like, okay, what is it? Because I don't think I asked what your finish was.
Right.
And I remember Kyoto was like, and I was like, what? He said, fuck you, my man. What? So you watch it back, I got this like shitty look on my face, which I'm sure Vince was like, oh, he doesn't want to lose. But I was like, I can't understand what you're saying, you idiot. And then he's trying to call it in Carney. I'm like, stop the Carney. You're coming down to the ring. I'm like, I'll figure it out. Then you came in the ring, and I said,
first lockup, what's your finish?
Yeah. Because I remember saying you're going over, you were like, what? Yeah, what's your finish? You're like, T-bone suplex. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll figure it out. So then we went and had, it was probably a 15-minute match or so, and we called the whole thing on the fly. And it's still, to this day, one of my favorite matches.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, for me, that was a huge milestone. One, for my career, but two, that gave me an extra confidence because I could go in there and just listen.
Right.
You know, in a pay-per-view situation, and we pulled that off without a hitch. Like I don't think
remember
there was a glitch of any kind.
Nothing.
So
and even for me too, like I've been working for years, but you don't call a lot in the ring as you get further on in your career because it's very regimented with TV. You've got 5 minutes, do this. What's the camera shot? Where's the angle? So it was like freedom, like live without a net.
Yes.
You know, and I remember just like it was so much fun. And then finally I was thinking ahead, like, what should we do? What should we do? And then finally it was time. I gave you something, you kicked out, and I beat you up in the corner. I said, reverse it, catch me with your finish. So you threw me in the corner. I jumped to the second rope. When I've never watched it back, I just remember this. I jumped to the second rope, and I said, okay, T-bone suplex. I'm not sure what that is, but if I jump off like a starfish and leave my arms and legs wide open, you'll find it and capture me in it. And then I jumped, and he caught me. It was like kind of the T-bone thing, and boom, and 1, 2, 3. So, but if people only knew the real story,
that's when I would tell people, you know, you hear I call it the '80s ignorance fans. Oh, wrestling's fake. It's staged.
Yeah. Is there scripted?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's scripted if you're not good.
Yeah. And I'll never forget, I walked through the back part there, and Benoit was standing there, and you know Chris is really intense. But if you like something, he would tell you, he's like, that was great. It was so great. Thing of beauty. Like almost like mad about it. Like, it was great. Great job. Great. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was one of those ones where I think we were on first, and I sat there for the rest of the show just like, it was fun.
While you were going, I was in the back going, I can't believe it.
Because that was the first time you won the title, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, and